Happy Football Friday, everybody. Nate Lundy, Shawn, 5280 Sports Network. Good morning. This is your Morning Minute on a Football Friday. It's Raiders week. Oakland and Denver coming up on Sunday Night Football. Arguably the best game of the weekend. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, CU with the win last night. Not really sure how they pulled it off because every single indication in every single stat column says that they should not have done it. But thankfully, they were playing UCLA, and therefore they were able to pull it off some way, somehow.
Yeah, UCLA obviously very bad. I don't know how you come away with only 10 points and a half where you get 4 turnovers, but UCLA managed to do it. Fortunately, CU hung around long enough to break the game open with a long punt return. They get the win, but it's not all bad. Sometimes you want to win those tough games. You want to win when you're not at your best and when you don't particularly play well. We saw actually Oklahoma last night against Iowa State. They were also playing against a 1-7 team, and they had their hands full with them too. Sometimes being able to win those tight games is an advantage. They want to play better, certainly, but this can also be a bit of a confidence builder as they go on to Arizona to finish their string of 3 potentially huge games for the Colorado Buffaloes.
Lots of local headlines from last night to talk about. The Nuggets pull it out, but they almost screwed it up too.
Yeah, it's a team that has to find a way to play better late. They're very clumsy late. Emmanuel Mudiay has moments where he doesn't really know like he looks what he wants to do with the ball. I think that's still something you'd expect for a young guy. But you saw Jameer Nelson then basically switch and become the primary ball handler late. I think that did help the Nuggets get over on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And they've got to find a way to do that because they're working out their minutes. There's so many moving parts for the Nuggets right now. If they manage to get a lead, they've got to find a way to be able to hold them. It's not exactly knocking off the Cavs, but you'll take what you can get.
Earlier this week, we talked about the Avalanche game against Nashville, and I said it was one that they needed to win, not because you're in a must-win on the beginning of November, but because those are the games you need to get the points on early on, especially the first quarter of the season, the first 20 games, because you're going to have things like last night where you go on the road and you completely lay an egg against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, the Blackhawks are good. I will give you that. However, that performance last night by the Avalanche was horrendous, and it was coming off of a performance where they played pathetically against Nashville at home at the Pepsi Center when Nashville had lost 3 in a row. Something has got to give. This team cannot dig themselves a hole as they have done the last couple of seasons and then expect that they can pull the points out by the time they get to January, February, March. That's not going to work. Not with this core, not with this team, not with this blue line. So I mentioned the fact that that game on Tuesday against Nashville was a sort of must-win, and now you've seen it with the back-to-back really, really bad performances. The Avalanche need to turn it around. They will have an afternoon game, yes, afternoon, matinee style against Minnesota tomorrow, Saturday at the Pepsi Center. A 1 o'clock puck drop on that one. Hopefully they can get back on track. Now, Broncos Raiders coming up on Sunday night. Vegas has it essentially as a pick'em game. Shawn, what do you see?
I think that's about right. I think this is a question of whether the Denver Broncos offense can score enough points, because I don't expect the Raiders to be able to make a lot of turnovers, even though their offense, it's not smoke and mirrors, but it is primarily Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree down the field for Derek Carr. So I think if they can be limited, and I think they can, Denver can get some things done. But in the end, they're going to have to score.
Yeah, they're going to have to score. Now, the great thing is Oakland's defense is second to the last in the NFL when it comes to giving up yardage. They also give up 125 yards on the ground right now, which is very similar to the numbers that the Texans were giving up at the time that the Broncos got ready to play them. The difference was when the Broncos did that, they had a healthy C.J. Anderson, they had a healthy Devontae Booker. As of right now, Booker has been limited in practice, may wind up showing up on the practice report later today as being questionable for Sunday. If that happens, it's definitely a game changer. But Sunday Night Football, prime time in Oakland. The first time in, I can't even tell you how long, that a game between the Raiders and the Broncos has been a pick'em. This is going to be fun. Broncos fans, I got a bad feeling, but let's hope for some magic on Sunday night in the black hole. We got all the coverage for you throughout the weekend at 5280sportsnetwork.com as well as milehighsports.com. Check out all the podcasts, the videos, and everything as you're going through your weekend. Have a safe one. Get back with us again Monday morning, 7 a.m. on Mile High Sports Radio. For Shawn, I'm Nate. See ya.